Hello. Uh, my topic is now about symmetry. So, what is symmetry? Uh, Roughly speaking, if you see at the clock, this one and this one. So, this first one is looks very adjacent with the wall. You can say it is symmetric or balanced. But this one, uh, second one, two, this is tilted on the one side and it may not looks good because this is not symmetric. So this is simple explanation of the symmetry apart from mathematical concept. So that's why it is great saying that symmetry is beauty. Now, uh, for the mathematical point of view, if we see at this one, uh, some graphs have axes of symmetry. It means that some graphs are symmetric. The line about which the graph is symmetric is called the line of symmetry. The graph about which any line is symmetric is called line of symmetry. So this is the definition for any function f of x. If the axis of symmetry is y-axis, then f of x is said to be symmetric about y-axis. Such a function is also known as even function. If the graph like that, I have this example, and this is the graph. So graph of this function, f of x is equal to x raised to power 4 minus x squared plus 1. If you look at this graph, you can see clearly that this graph has same part on the right hand side as on the left hand side. So this graph is symmetric about y-axis. Mathematically, what is the definition of symmetric function about y-axis or symmetric function or even function? You can also say this is even function. So f of minus x is equal to f of x means this graph is symmetric about y-axis or even function. Symmetric about y-axis or even function are same things. Any graph which is symmetric about y-axis is also known as even function. So mathematically or theoretically, how can we check whether a graph is symmetric or even? Uh, if we replace x with minus x, then if you cannot see any change, this is equal to f of x, then it means that this is the even function. Now we have this function, we will check uh, whether this function is even function or not. How can we check this? We have to replace x with negative x, f of minus x. Minus x on both sides. Minus x raised to power 4 minus x raised to power 2, and then this is plus 1. So this f of minus x is equal to x raised to power 4. You know that if there is even power, then this negative sign uh, will become positive. This is a negative sign. Now, negative x square is equal to plus x square, and this is plus 1. So f of negative x is equal to f of x. This is the same function f of x. So in place of this, we have written here f of x. So f of minus x is equal to f of x. So it means that this function f is even function. So this is the way to check whether a function is even or not. Even means, again, I'm telling you, symmetric about y-axis, like this graph. This graph is symmetric about y-axis. It is clearly visible from here, from this graph. Now, like any function is can be symmetric about y-axis. Similarly, there is there may be a function which is symmetric about x-axis. For any function f of x, if the axis of symmetry is x-axis, it means that any function is symmetric about x-axis, then f of x is said to be symmetric about x-axis. Such a function is also known as odd function. So symmetric about x-axis mean odd function. Mathematically, how can we test this one? So this is the way, just similar to the how can we check even function. If we replace negative x in place of x in function f of x, then f of minus x is equal to minus f of x. So for all x in the domain of the function. There is an example, f of x is equal to negative x cubed plus 4x. I have drawn its graph. You can see clearly that this function is symmetric about x-axis. Part of the graph which is on the upper side of x-axis here is same here with the opposite sign. So this graph has same part on the upper side of x-axis and same part on the uh, bottom side of x-axis. So this is symmetric about x-axis. So how can we test mathematically that any function is symmetric about x-axis or not? We have to replace x with negative x on both sides. Negative x raised to power 3 plus 4 times negative x. So this f of negative x is equal to negative times negative x cubed. If there is odd power, then negative sign will remain intact, minus 4x. So this would be equal to negative and times negative. This is plus x cubed minus 4x. Now, we can take this negative sign common from both of them. Or equivalently, you can say that you can put here negative sign outside the bracket, and inside you can write this negative x cubed plus 4x. So clearly you can see that if this negative sign is multiplied inside this bracket, so this minus x cubed will become plus x cubed and plus 4x will become minus 4x. So this is equal to f of negative x is equal to negative times, what is this? Negative x cubed plus 4x is actually f of x. So f of negative x is equal to negative f of x. What does it mean? It means that this f is odd function. F is odd function. So this is the mathematical working to check whether a given function is odd function or not. This was the graphical way. From the graph, you can also clearly see whether function is symmetric or not. So there may be some functions, some graphs, which are symmetric about both axes. Symmetric about both axes. Like this is equation of circle. This is equation of circle. This is equation of triangle. This is equation of rectangle. 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 This is equ This is its graph. Clearly, you can see that this is symmetric about x-axis and y-axis. The part of the graph which is on the right side of y-axis, this one, same part is on the left side also. And if you want to check whether it is symmetric about x-axis, then this is the clear that this part, upper side of x-axis, the same part also exists in the lower part of x-axis also. So this graph is the symmetric about both axes. Now we have a function which is symmetric about which is not symmetric about any of the axes. It is also possible that some graphs are not symmetric about any of the axes. So this is an example of such a graph that is not symmetric about any axis, neither x-axis and nor y-axis. Uh, if you want to see that it's mathematical working of this one, then how can we check this? I'm talking about this f of x is equal to x cubed plus x plus 1. So if I replace here negative x on both sides, negative x cubed plus 1, so this will be equal to negative x cubed plus 1. If you want to write negative sign outside the bracket, so this will become x cubed minus 1. If you take this negative sign outside the bracket, then signs of both these terms will be changed. So this will become plus x cubed, this will become minus 1. So this is actually equal to negative times f of x. F of minus x is actually equal to minus f of x. Uh, no, sorry, this is not equal to minus f of x. Neither this is equal to f of x and neither it is equal to minus f of x and nor it is equal to f of x. So it means that this graph is not symmetric about any of the axes. Also, you have understand this. Thank you.